Hi everyone, good morning, good day. This is Subodh from EV Dunya, and today we have with us Mr. Girish and Mr. Kaaman from MetroRide. So just to give you a brief introduction about both the gentlemen, Mr. Girish is the CEO and co-founder of MetroRide. He is a serial entrepreneur and his focus is always on making an impact. So uh, the uh, the startup that they've found together called MetroRide is an electric mobility startup. So Mr. Girish has had successful stint at leadership positions in various corporates. And Girish is a management graduate from a prestigious institute, MDI, Gurgaon. He's a recipient of Distinguished Toastmaster Award. So Toastmaster, as you're aware, is the highest individual education award. Basically, the award he got as highest individual education award by Toastmasters International. It's a global non-profit organization in the field of public speaking and leadership. Apart from all this, Girish is a cricket buff. He's a passionate teacher and an amateur Scrabble player. So welcome, Girish.
Thank you, Subodh, for that wonderful and detailed introduction.
Yeah. Now, talking about Kaaman, he's the CTO and co-founder of MetroRide. Kaaman is a seasoned technologist with a niche in creating tech products. So he has a vast experience of over 18 years building tech products that solve complex business problems. He has built solutions and products for various marquee organizations across verticals like high tech and communication, media, manufacturing, and financial services. So his forte is building scalable solutions using cloud computing, IoT, data analytics, and AI. Currently, he is focusing on building an automated and scalable fleet management and fraud detection system for MetroRide. And in this also, obviously, he is using artificial intelligence. So that's the technical background of Kaaman. And apart from this, in his free time, Kaaman likes to swim and work on wood, basically. Yeah, welcome, Kaaman.
Thank you, Subodh. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah. Now that everyone is aware of Mr. Girish and Kaaman, let's get into the questions that I have for you guys. Yeah. So can you tell us a bit about MetroRide? So what exactly it is, and what does it do for the people?
Sure, Subodh. At the onset, thank you for this opportunity and giving us an opportunity to share our story with you and, of course, many more people. So MetroRide is basically a ride-hailing platform which uses 100% electric vehicles and makes your first and last mile connectivity sustainable, cheaper, and faster. And this is something which we started last year when there was a problem which we were facing, both of us, actually, me and Kaaman, and we wanted to do something, and it has a global impact because I faced this in Bangalore and Kaaman faced this in the US, and that's how the whole story started. So of course, as the discussion goes on, we will share that bit as well. Yeah, but MetroRide Share basically solves your first and last mile connectivity using shared mobility and electric vehicles.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Girish. Now, moving on, like you said, you'll cover other aspects as we go ahead. Now, moving on, how did you come up with this idea? Basically, you've covered like you faced the issue both in Bangalore and in US. And then what exactly are you looking to solve with this startup? So basically, what can people expect from MetroRide?
Sure. So the first use case we've started with is the last mile connectivity to the metro stations. I'm sure you would have faced it whenever you travel for your daily commute, especially if you want to use metro. And we both believed that metro is the best and the most sustainable commute solution for daily commute, especially. And it is something which is green, cheaper, and faster because it is very predictable. If you're traveling by road, you know how it is given the traffic in most of our metro cities. And this is a global issue, not just in India, in metro cities of India, but across this is an urban mobility challenge which the whole world is facing, right? And metro, if you see in India, we have in almost all the important cities already. And as per Niti Aayog, we have metro systems in almost every city with the 1 million plus population. So that means the whole country is going to be basically covered by metro. But the irony is such a beautiful mode of commute is actually not getting used. So if you talk about the ridership numbers across the country, almost every so there are exceptions in Delhi and one more metro station which is Mumbai, but apart from that, every single metro is running behind their ridership targets, and this I'm talking even pre-COVID, right? And to the tune of lagging, as in terms of the ridership numbers, their targets are as low as 35 to 40% for almost every metro system across the country. Imagine you have such a beautiful, cheaper, cleaner, affordable solution, but people are not able to use. And there is a report by WRI which shows that 85% of this reason, or the biggest reason why people are not able to use metro is that they are not well connected. The first mile and the last mile. I want to use metro, but there is no way for me to reach the metro station in a cheaper and effective or a faster way, right? And if you're not able to find a way to reach the metro station, how would you even use it? And that's how the whole, So I stay in a place called JP Nagar, as in Banegata, very close to Banegata Road in Bangalore, right? The closest metro station is just 2.5 kilometers from my house. And I was not able to reach metro station even after trying for so many times, right? There are options, especially if you talk about Bangalore, there are so many options if you would ask me. But in the mornings, try booking. We have best of the ride hailing apps, but try booking that in the mornings. You will actually get a call more often than not. You will get cancellations multiple times, and they will ask you where you want to go. The moment you tell them that my destination is a metro station 2.5 kilometers away, the driver, without even asking you, will actually not turn up or cancel your ride, right? And the second option is your autos, the very old autos, right? Which again, on the face of it, looks very effective, but you will face rejections so many times that you will actually not even try taking a metered auto, right? And Kaaman can share his story, what he felt in the US.
Yeah, so I resonate with what Girish is saying, and we, a year ago when I was visiting India, I met Girish, and we were sitting at his house, and he was, complaining about how his commute to work is difficult because getting to the metro station was very difficult. I was able to resonate with that and relate to that because I face exactly the same issue. I live in a city called Dublin, which is in the Silicon Valley, and I had to travel every day to San Francisco City. And the only effective way to do that is to take the metro train over here, which is called BART. When I was buying a house over here in the Silicon Valley, the house prices near a metro station were at least 1.5 times the house prices which are a little away. So so where I stay, that place is close to 3 miles from the metro station. If I want to get within a mile radius of the metro station, I would have paid 1.5 times. And commute options, there is hardly any. Then you can take the Lyft or Uber. But again, the cancellations are high, peak prices are very high. There's surge prices all the time over there. So we did some research over there. We spoke to around 100 people in US, and we found that nobody who is going to the metro station uses Uber or Lyft to get to the metro station.
Right.
What people do is they go over here at 7 a.m. in the morning to the metro station to park their cars over there. Otherwise, after 7 a.m., you will not find a parking spot there. So that was a very big problem. And that's where we decided that, okay, this is the time to solve that problem by building MetroRide.
Yeah, makes sense. So the ride cancellations that you mentioned, I faced that yesterday itself. My ride got canceled 3 times. And obviously the parking issue that you spoke about is very real. Like, there are limited parking spots and not everyone can get to park there. So yeah, makes sense. So there needs to be some kind of, platform where people can use to commute to the metro stations.
Correct.
Yeah, so thanks for that answer. Now, moving on, you've spoken about MetroRide, how that idea came to you guys, and then what exactly you guys are trying to solve. Now, moving on, which countries are you focusing on right now? You spoke about India, maybe US also, and along with that, in which cities is MetroRide currently live?
So
Sure.
MetroRide currently, go ahead,
Yeah,
Girish.
carry on, Kaaman. Yeah.
Yeah, so MetroRide, the plan is to start with India,
Mm-hmm.
then move to US by next year,
Okay.
and then probably think about other countries. This is a very global phenomenon. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at London, you look at any European countries, metro is very popular over there.
Right.
So wherever metro is popular, our use case exists. So our plan is to start with India. We have started with India in 3 cities, namely Noida, Delhi, and Bangalore. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to expand in India, probably Hyderabad, Cochin, Pune, Mumbai down the line.
Yeah.
On the side, we would also launch US. We would have at least 2 cities launched in US by next year. So that's the plan for
Wonderful.
launch.
Yeah. Wonderful. Right. Now, uh, with all this said, how can users actually use MetroRide services, and what are the advantages that they get with it? Obviously, the commute from home to any nearest metro station. But then, yeah, how can they use it?
So we have a very user-friendly mobile app, so both, and we
Mm-hmm.
also have a WhatsApp or SMS-based chatbot. So
Yeah.
these are the two ways you can book MetroRide rides, right? So we have app on the Android as well as on iOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And chatbot can run, as I said, on WhatsApp and SMS. So even if you don't have an app, do have a mechanism wherein this AI-based chatbot helps you to book your rides even without the app, or even if there is no connectivity, you can use your SMS service to book the rides. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's basically how you book the ride. And so just coming to why, what are the advantages of the customers? Carmen spoke about the research, right? So he spoke to
Mm-hmm.
around 100 people in the valley. Similar research we did in Bangalore, wherein we spoke to 300 plus people who were either using metro or were prospective users of metro. So they stayed
Right.
within 3 to 4 kilometers of a metro station, right? So two things came out very clearly, that the people who wanted to use metro or were using metro wanted a solution very badly, and also they wanted something which they're going to use every single day. So there were two
Right.
key requirements for these people. One was that it has to be affordable, because I'm going to use this multiple times in a same day, right? You go from
Correct.
your
Yeah.
home to station to office and back, right? So there are
Mm-hmm.
multiple times you would be using the same service, so it cannot be too expensive. And that's the
Right.
reason Kaman mentioned that not many metro commuters were actually using a service like an Uber, right? Which is a convenient service, so to say, but for this use case might not be, right? Because
Yeah.
it is one, expensive, especially during the office hours, there is surge pricing, and
Exactly.
uh, drivers are not very keen to do these kind of short rides, right?
Right.
So one was affordability, and second was availability and the timeliness, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just because it is cheap, I can't wait for you for 15 minutes, because if I'm going to work, I have a card to punch, right? Or a meeting to attend early mornings. I have to be in office by 10. That
Yeah.
means I can't be late. And also we have a lot of users who were college students. For them, again, you can't be late for the class, right? So it
Right.
has to be, so two key things for the customer: it has to be cheaper and it has to be on time. So these were the things we have been working on from day one. We started building this product, and even till date, these are the the two most critical KPIs we keep in front whenever we are building something, or we measure these every single day, every single hour, because and every single station, right? So these are
Mm-hmm.
very, very critical, and happy to share that till date we've served over 1 lakh customers, and our average wait time has been 2 minutes 1 second, and we're trying to improve that. It was 2 minutes 5 seconds a couple of months back. Now we brought it down to 2 minutes 1 second. So that means you, once you book a ride, you would be picked up within 2 minutes and 1 second on an average. So that's
That's
the
awesome.
advantage for the commuter.
Yeah. Uh, Awesome. Thanks, Girish. Now, I read somewhere that, MetroRide is making our cities decongested, obviously, because there'll be less vehicles on the road and carbon free. So can you explain how it is carbon free?
Sure. So one thing which we did right from day one was because our first use case is promoting metro usership, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to bring in a commute solution which is green and sustainable.
Right.
So we decided that even the first and last mile where we are committing, that also will become green. So that then came a decision that we would go 100% electric, right? So
Awesome.
sustainability, of course, was a big angle. It also makes commercial sense because we would be running a lot, not like unlike a normal auto, because we fly on the same routes day in and day out, and we keep
Mm-hmm.
moving all the time. So our
Yeah.
runs are much higher. So it also makes commercial sense because the prices of fossil fuels going up always, right?
Right.
So that was so sustainability and making it green definitely was the idea. And later we realized that also it does make commercial sense as well, given the length of our rides, or the amount of runs we have every day are quite high. And because we are using electric vehicles, definitely we are reducing the carbon footprint.
Exactly.
One may debate that yes, this electricity is also currently made through fossil fuels, but definitely there is still a lot of savings,
Yeah.
because
True.
we are combining these rides to ensure that people who are traveling together can join together, right? And definitely the same vehicle getting used multiple times. So we are trying to decongest the cities by reducing the number of vehicles on the road.
Yeah. Makes sense, Girish. There are obviously attempts of using renewable resources for electricity generation, and that will
Correct.
eventually make this a lot more cleaner. So, yeah,
Yes,
makes sense.
that's. I think there is a lot of research happening there as well, using
Yeah.
non-conventional methods of charging these vehicles. So I think once
Mhm.
that is in, it's going to become green in real sense. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Now, like from whatever you've said till now, I have understood that basically first and last mile journeys you're covering, and since you're doing that using electric vehicles, it's a lot better solution than the traditional internal combustion engines. Now, moving on, how many riders do you currently have? Like you said, you have electric autos and vehicles. So, how many riders do you have, given the number of cities, 3 cities that you're live in?
Sure. So we have close to over a lakh of customers we've served till date. We've been
Mm-hmm.
operational for around 7 months now, including the COVID break. Yeah. So in
Yeah.
last 7 months, we've served 1,05,000 customers, to be precise, since yesterday. Yeah, till yesterday.
Okay. Awesome. That's yeah. And then let's say if I were to use a MetroRide service, like can I book a vehicle from my place, or are there designated spots for pickup and drops?
Okay, I'll let Kaman go here, because we use a lot of tech to enable this and to ensure that it becomes easier for everybody to get to.
Sure. So the way it works is, if you want to take a ride to the metro station,
Yeah.
you would open up the MetroRide app, and as soon as you open the app, we detect where you are right now, your current
Okay.
location,
Mm-hmm.
and we show you the closest MetroRide stop from
Okay.
where you can get picked up, right?
Yeah.
So our idea over here, as Girish was saying, our two main KPIs were to make the rides faster and affordable.
Yeah.
So everything that we did in this process in the last 1 year were either making the rides affordable or making it faster. One of those things was to decide that we are not going to get into lanes and drop you home, right?
Exactly.
For a daily commuter, it is more important for him to get a faster and a cheaper ride than to have the vehicle come home and pick him up. So that's where we decided that okay, we will make the commuters walk 100 to 200 meters, come to a pickup spot. For example, if you're living in a big apartment,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we will not come inside the apartment to your building. We'll
Yeah.
ask you to come to
Makes
the
sense.
gate of the apartment and pick you up from there.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's basically you'll have a lot of designated spots within an area from where
Right.
users can be picked up. Yeah.
And we use our AI engine to design these pickup spots too. So we use our AI engine. Our AI engine tells us what is the density of people at various spots, and
Mhm.
wherever there is a higher density, we create a spot over
Okay, wonderful. That's like a great combination of tech and the green resources to solve a real challenge.
there. Right.
Yeah. Now I had a question regarding future expansion plans, but as Carmen rightly said, you're initially targeting India and then US and then any city that or any country that uses metro is right, target for you guys. So that's already covered, I suppose. I had a few more points, but then I guess we've already covered all that. And like you mentioned, you've already gone past 1 lakh riders in 150 days since your launch. So that is a wonderful achievement, I guess.
Yep. There's one more point I'd like to mention, Subodh.
Mm-hmm.
Is about our drivers, right?
Yeah.
So what is the advantage that we give to our drivers? Because drivers is a very, very important part of
Right.
this whole business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where when we onboard our drivers, we make sure that our drivers are fully documented and verified. That's the
Yeah.
first requirement. Then these drivers go through a proper training or grooming sessions where we teach them how to behave with customers, how to respond to customers' questions, the queries, and all that.
Yeah.
We give them a proper training on the best practices in driving, how
Mm-hmm.
not to drive, right?
Yeah.
There are proper checks that happens. There is actually an AI device that we have fit into the vehicles, which also detects fraud. That if the driver is taking cash rides, if there's an incident that happens where the customer is complaining the driver was rude, we know what happened over there in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is that another thing that we do since the beginning of our launch, since our launch, is to onboard women drivers. So most
Okay.
of our drivers today are women drivers,
Yeah.
especially in Bangalore. All these. So because impact was so important for us, we realized that if we give employment to women in this
Mm-hmm.
sector, it would definitely create a very big impact in their livelihoods. And that's where we onboarded a lot of women drivers on our platform. In fact, most of our drivers in Bangalore today are women drivers
Yeah.
who are trained to drive auto rickshaw, trained to behave with customers, talk to customers, and then they're onboarded.
Yeah.
So
That's
on average, these drivers make at least 50% more than what they make not driving with us as a regular auto rickshaw driver.
awesome. Yeah. That's wonderful, Carmen. So yeah, that is something very important when it comes to the service that users get.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I guess I've covered all my questions. So is there anything else that you guys would want to add?
So there are a lot of things happening, Subodh, and I'm
Mhm.
sure. So we built this company during COVID times, and now that life is coming back to normalcy, I'm sure we will be growing really fast.
Yeah.
And of course, we are building our team. So if anybody is watching this, we would love to hear from them in case they want to join our team as an employee, as a partner, as an investor. We are always looking for additions to the family.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yep, and there is so much to do that we always are needing more hands, right? So as a partner, so we are also doing a lot of B2B tie-ups these days,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, if there is a corporate or a tech park watching this, we would love to associate with them. In fact, in last few weeks, we've been reached out by metro systems and even tech parks for exclusivity
Yeah.
for their last mile connectivity. So we would love to hear from such people. If there are some synergies, happy to explore that.
Yeah. Wonderful. I mean, I can imagine the advantages that tech parks can get with all the congestion happening around and limited parking spaces. This will obviously be a viable solution for them going forward. Yeah.
True.
So to all our viewers, watching this video, if you are in Bangalore, NCR, or Delhi, you guys can definitely give MetroRide a try. I'm sure most of you might already be using it, but yeah, that's a wonderful solution to help reduce the pollution, then the congestion on roads,